Hey, what's up guys, this is Mac. Welcome to NCR India free video tutorial channel on YouTube. And here in this tutorial I'm gonna tell you something about variables in Java. First of all, open Eclipse. Now here you can see we have already having a class called NCR, the way I've used in a previous tutorial. Okay, so what are the variables? The variable is basically defined as a basic unit of storage in programming or Java programming. It basically these are basically used to store some kind of constant values. It may be an integer type value, it may be a character type value, it may be a floating point number, it may be anything. Whatever the data types you have studied, it could be anything. Okay, so remember that the variables are very important concept in the programming, because without the variables we cannot make the expressions. In the expressions we only work with the variables, right? So before using a variable in your program, remember that you will have to declare the variable. Now how to declare the variable and what kind of variable needs how I mean what are the ways to declare the different types of variables. So variables may be any kind of it may be of a type integer, it may be of character type variable, it may be of float type variable, it may be of double type variable, it may be a boolean variable, it could be anything, right? So before first you will have to decide what kind of variable you're gonna declare or you're gonna use in program. Let's say I'm gonna use a double type variable in my program. So before using a double type variable, I'll have to declare the double type variable, right? So for declaring a double type variable, you basically need to use double keyword before writing the name of your variable, right? Now the variable name could be anything. Let's say it is radius in this case. Now we have actually now there is also third part called the optional initialization part. Now what is this? This is basically the way to initialize your variable, right? This is a step where you will initialize the same variable with some constant value, right? Now there are two kinds of the optional initialization. The first is called the constant initialization, where you will simply pass some constant value to it in this way, right? I have just initialized a value I have just initialized a 10 as the radius to the variable radius. Now this is called the constant initialization. Okay, write a comment after that so that you will remember that. Constant initialization. Okay, now there is one more thing I haven't told you yet, that is about the comments. Now here you can see the two forward slashes here. I have added a comment saying constant initialization to make you understand that this statement is basically called the constant initialization. We are actually doing performing the constant initialization here to the variable radius. Remember that guys, whatever I'm writing after these two forward slashes, that will be taken as comments, and this will never be the part of your program, right? Now if mistaken you will write single backslash, then now it will be the part of your program, and it will show you an error during the compilation time. Okay, so keep in mind, if you are making some comments in your program for some kind of different statements to make your program more understandable, then you will have to use that syntax of adding comments. You will have to use the two forward slashes here, right? Or you may also use this forward slash star, but remember that you will also have to close it. Now for closing it, you have to use this structure like this, and between this, whatever you will write, that will never be taken as the part of the program. Okay, so the double forward slashes are convenient rather than using this one. I would suggest you to use this one for making the comments, right? Okay, so first of all, we have shown that this is called the constant initialization. Now what is called the dynamic initialization? Dynamic initialization is it can be defined as it is a process of using any expression valid at the time when the variable is declared, that means we are using an expression on the right hand side or on the initialization side of the variable while the variable when the variable is being declared, right? Means both the process and both the tasks are performing at the same time. We are actually declaring a variable, as well as we are also supplying some value to that variable, but after performing some expression on the right hand side of the variable's initialization space, right? Or what I mean to say, I show you now. Let's say I have another variable called double circle, or let's say it is area. Okay, and we need to find the area. Now what I actually did here, I've actually declared a double type variable called area, but now I'm going to initialize the value to this area, and by writing an expression on the right hand side, this will be 3.14 star. I'm just writing the formula of area of circle, right, semicolon, to terminate the statement. Now what I'm doing here, this is called the dynamic initialization. Why? Because we are actually performing an expression. We are actually calculating an expression on the right hand side of the variable declaration. That's why it is called the dynamic initialization. Basically the process is, if you are using any expression valid at that time when the variable is being declared, we are actually declaring the variable area, and at the same time we are actually using an expression on the right hand side of this area, I mean on the side of as the initialization of this variable area, right? So we are performing the two tasks at the same time. So that's why it is called the dynamic initialization. We are actually initializing the value to the variable area when the program is being executed. That's why it is called dynamic initialization. When the program starts execution, it basically executes this statement, this expression on the right hand side, 3.14 star. This is the calculating the area, and at the same time it assigns the value of this area to the variable called area. That's why it is called dynamic initialization, because we are initializing a value to the variable area when during the execution of the program, and at the same time we are also declaring the variable called area, right? This is called dynamic initialization. So that's all about this tutorial. We are I'll see you in the next tutorial. So keep watching NCR India Free Rural channel on YouTube, and please don't forget to put your views and comments after my videos. So thank you, bye bye, take care.